Okay. Now, so today we are going to look at transport in humans. Okay, transport in humans. So we are going to revise on transport in humans. Okay, so let's start from the most basic one since you revise everything. Okay, so first thing first, let us look at the structure. Okay, revise on the structure of the heart. Okay, structure of the heart. So there are a few things that you need to know for the structure of the heart. So first thing first, you need to know that the heart is made up of 4 chambers. Okay, so you have 4 chambers. Now, the 4 chambers have their own name. There's a name to it. Okay, so you need to know that. Okay, this is the right atrium. So the 2 chambers on top, they are called atrium. Okay, then one is right atrium, one is left atrium. Okay, so we always think of the heart as our own heart. Okay, so if you think of the heart as your own heart, then you will identify the right and the left atrium correctly. Okay, then the 2 chambers below, they are called the ventricles. So the one below is called right ventricle. Then the left one is called left ventricle. Okay, can Then of course atrium is singular. Sometimes when you also look at the question, they may use the word atria. Atria is plural. Okay. Ventricles is very simple. You just add a S. If it's plural, just add a S. Okay, I have students who spell ventricle wrongly. I hope it's not because of my pronunciation. They spell this in this manner. This is wrong. Okay, CAL is wrong. Okay, so that is the first thing. Then secondly, number 2. Okay, the next thing that you need to know for the structure of the heart is the valves. Okay, there are 2 valves, 2 pairs of valves in the heart. Okay, valves inside the heart. Okay, so you need to know the name. Valves, not chromosome. Where got chromosome? Okay, valves inside the heart. So first thing first, again, draw the structure. So the central wall, we call it the septum. Septum is not valves. Okay, septum is the central wall, separating the left side from the right side. Okay, so the central wall separating the left side from the right side. The right side of the heart, okay, from the left side. Okay, so there are 2 pairs of valves. One is found between the right atrium and the right ventricle. Okay, so this is the valves. Usually we draw valves like in this manner. Okay, 2 flaps. Okay, yeah. Then for the other pair will be between the left atrium and the left ventricle. Okay, so the valves the one on the right side is called tricuspid valve. Okay, the spelling is correct. If the pronunciation is wrong, at least your spelling must be correct. Because it's a written exam, not a talking exam. Okay. Luckily don't have. Okay. So the other valves is called the bicuspid valve. Okay. So how I remember, very simple, right side, TRI-R, right side. Okay, so the valves between the right atrium and the right ventricle is called tricuspid valve. Then the other one is called the bicuspid valve. Okay, there are other names mentioned in your textbook. You need to know also. because sometimes the question may refer to it, but usually for your syllabus, we are using these two words, tricuspid and bicuspid valve first. Okay, can Then next, the third thing you need to know about the heart is the major blood vessels that is connected to it. Okay, so let's draw the four chambers again. Okay, so you have one major blood vessels that is connected to the right atrium. Okay, and this blood vessel, they transport blood from the rest of the body, okay, back to the right atrium. Okay, aorta is one of them, but this is not aorta. Yeah. So if I draw for you the direction of blood flow, yes, okay, so this is the first major blood vessel that is connected to the heart. Okay, and the function of vena cava is to transport blood from the rest of the body back to the right atrium. Okay, so this is the first major blood vessel. Then after the blood flows into the right atrium, okay, during the contraction, when the muscular wall of the right atrium contract, they will push the blood, they will force the blood to go into the left ventricle. Then when the muscular wall of the right ventricle, okay, contract, then it will push the blood into the other blood vessel. This blood vessel will transport the blood to the lungs. Okay, so this is the direction of blood flow. Okay, direction of blood flow. So can someone tell me what is the name of this blood vessel? Yes, it has to be pulmonary because it is connected to the lungs. So is this an artery or vein? Artery. Why? Yes, okay, very good. So always look at the direction of blood flow. Remember, artery always transport blood away from the heart. So this is the pulmonary artery. Okay, then the blood from the lungs will be returned back to the left atrium. Okay, this is the left atrium. And this blood vessel is called the pulmonary vein. This is the third major blood vessel connected to the heart. Okay, so once the blood enters into the left atrium, then likewise, when the muscular wall of the left atrium contract, it will force the blood into the left ventricle. Then when the muscular wall of the left ventricle contract, it will force the blood out. Okay, it will force the blood out into the rest of the body. So this one is called the aorta. This blood vessel is called the aorta. Yeah, that's how I remember. Okay, can So I need to emphasize again, whatever I just went through on this page, they are related to the heart that you need to know. Okay, and I've said this many times in class already. Biology is a very content-heavy subject. You need to make the effort to remember. Okay, let's put it this way. All these things, if I don't make an effort to remember, I also don't know. Okay, if you ask me what is tricuspid valve, I would know. You ask me what are the major blood vessels connected to the heart. If I don't make an effort to remember, I would know. Okay, can? So please make the effort to go and remember. Okay, you need to make the effort to remember. If not, forever you will know. Okay, so this one should be I would say this one should be the first learning outcome already. Okay, let's take a look at the learning outcome again. So I roughly talk a bit about the A already. Identify the main blood vessels to and from the heart. Liver, lungs, liver and kidney later I will talk about it. Okay, can? Now next I'll go to B already. I'll go to B. Okay. B. Let's see. So for B, it's more of the components of the different components of blood. Okay, so now B, learning outcome B, we are going to look at blood. So in the blood, there are many components. Okay, for your syllabus, you only need to know a few of them. Okay, so the first one will be the red blood cell. Second one will be the white blood cell. Third will be the plasma, not plasma, platelets. Then fourth will be the plasma. So these are the 4 components of the blood that is in your syllabus that you need to know. Okay, can then so let's look at them individually. Okay, very quickly. Okay, so red blood cells, you'll learn in the cells chapter already. Is one of the specialized cells that is in your syllabus. So you should know what is the function. Okay, function is to transport oxygen. Okay, transport oxygen from the lungs to all body cells. Okay, so that is the main function of the red blood cell. Then, of course, after we talk about function, we need to look at the structure. F stands for function. S stands for structure. Okay, so a lot of time, a lot of the chapters that we are looking at, usually we are looking, one of the first few things that we'll be looking at will be the structural adaptation, the function, and the structural adaptation. What is the link between them? How are they related? Okay, can so for red blood cell.
How do you get oxygen with that? Like,
how do they get oxygen? Because inside the female reproductive system is not a vacuum. There is air also.
so they just like
Yes.
basically breathe.
Yes. No, I won't say breathe. The oxygen can diffuse into the sperm because the sperm is a cell. It's a cell. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Can why are you always thinking about sperm all the time? Okay. It's recorded. Oops. Okay, now let's move on. Okay, red blood cells are so structural adaptation. So first thing first, it's biconcave. It has a biconcave shape. So this one is to increase the surface area to volume ratio. Okay, why need to increase the surface area to volume ratio? Okay. So that it will increase the rate
of diffusion of
yes
oxygen.
Yes, increase the rate of diffusion of oxygen into and out of the red blood cells.
I think just listen to what I was.
Okay, then what else? No nucleus.
More space for him.
Yes. Okay. So actually you know one then how come you still ask me to go through a learning outcome?
What is this or we asked for this, right?
Okay. You say everything.
I don't remember platelets, sure.
Okay. Can
so
I go through very quickly since
But you legit say everything. Yeah.
Okay, now no nucleus. Nucleus is a large organelle. Okay, so if there is no nucleus, there is more space for more hemoglobin. So when there is no nucleus, more hemoglobin, okay, can be stored. Okay, more hemoglobin in red blood cell. Now, then of course, the next thing that you can talk about is the presence of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the one that will bind to the oxygen molecule. So presence of hemoglobin. So hemoglobin is an iron-containing protein. Okay, this one is the one that will bind to oxygen molecule. So if I have more hemoglobin in the red blood cells, it also means that each red blood cell can transport more oxygen molecule. Okay, so there is a difference between rate of diffusion and storing more, containing more hemoglobin to transport more oxygen. Okay, so there is a huge difference between them. So each red blood cells can transport more oxygen molecules. Okay, So I think we roughly covered the structure for red blood cells already. Okay. Now next, let's look at white blood cells. For your syllabus, there are two types of white blood cells. One is phagocytes. The other one is the lymphocyte.
Which one? Which?
Okay, so how do you differentiate between the two? Okay, phagocytes they have a multi-loop nucleus. Okay, whereas lymphocyte it has a large round nucleus. Why? Because there is a difference in their function. Even though in general, you all will describe white blood cells.
One digest.
To do what? What in general? How do you all describe the function of white blood cells?
Okay. When arrest the foreign particles.
No. White blood cells is for immune response. Okay, is to protect the body against foreign particles. Okay, something along that line.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a difference between how they work. Okay, so basically, for phagocytes, they will carry out phagocytosis. So what do I mean by phagocytosis? Basically, the phagocytes will identify foreign particles. Okay, identify. The moment they identify foreign particles, they will go near to the foreign particles and then they will engulf or ingest the foreign particle. So they will identify the foreign particles and then they will engulf or ingest the foreign particle. Now, foreign particles doesn't have to be bacteria all the time. It doesn't have to be virus all the time. It can be anything that is foreign to the body. It can be a toxin. Okay, anything foreign, the phagocyte will recognize them as foreign, and then they will go and engulf and ingest the foreign particles. Okay. Now, then next for lymphocytes. Okay, the reason why lymphocytes needs to have large round nucleus is because they produce antibodies. So antibodies you already also know is a type of protein molecules. And now that you all learn about cell division, you learn about molecular genetics. You should know by now to produce protein, you need to have DNA acting as the template to make mRNA. Okay, I know we haven't reached that that part for your molecular genetics yet, so I'm telling you beforehand first. Okay, so you need DNA as a template to make mRNA, and then from the mRNA you make polypeptides. Then polypeptides become the protein. Okay, so the lymphocytes they need to produce antibodies. And there are many different types of antibodies. There are many types. Okay. For instance, if a person is exposed to 1 billion different foreign particles, they will have 1 billion different antibodies that can recognize this 1 billion different foreign particles. Okay. That is how strong or how effective our immune system is. Okay, they recognize different, they will produce a different antibody to specifically recognize that foreign particle. Different foreign particle have a specific type of antibody that will be produced.
Different bodies produce different types of antibodies to identify like the same thing.
No. Okay, I repeat again. To simplify matters, next time when you go higher studies, you will learn that there are many types of white blood cells. Phagocytes and lymphocytes are just two of them. Okay, and I'm telling you, each lymphocyte, they are capable of producing many different types of antibodies. And each antibody actually can recognize only one type of foreign particle. Okay, that is how effective our immune system is. Okay, Can now platelets, I need more space, so I write below. So let's look at plasma now. So what is the function of plasma? Okay, plasma is the yellowish, pale yellowish liquid in the blood. So the main purpose is about it's more than 90% water. Okay, then it contains a lot of dissolved substances. So the plasma contains mainly water and dissolved substances. Okay, what are some of these dissolved substances that can be found inside the plasma? Can you all tell me? Any? Okay, red blood cells transport oxygen. What is the other gas that is important in the syllabus? No. Carbon dioxide. Okay, correct. Okay. Yes, yes, very good. Yes.
Blood cells. I said that already. Plasma proteins, vitamins. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. So there are a few dissolved substances that is particularly important for your syllabus. Why? Because they are related to the other chapters that you learn in your syllabus. Okay, so the first one will be metabolic waste product. So if we go and think about it, the dissolved substances, okay, you have many. So the first one is the metabolic waste product. Okay, metabolic waste product got two types. Got two that is in your syllabus. One of them is the CO2, carbon dioxide. The other one is urea. Okay, so I hope you all remember carbon dioxide is produced because of respiration, aerobic respiration. Then urea is produced due to deamination of excess amino acid. Okay. Yes. Okay, but it's very unlikely unless you tell me you eat very little proteins and then you do a lot of muscle building exercise. Then maybe you will not have any urea. Okay, if not, most of them will be used up. Will be used up to for repair and.
That means like eat them.
Yeah. If you don't eat enough and then you do bodybuilding, actually you don't have enough amino acid to build your muscle. Okay, can. So metabolic waste product. Now for carbon dioxide, it will dissolve in the water. Okay, so this one there is this a very important process that you need to remember. Okay, so carbon dioxide will react with water, will dissolve in water. They will first form carbonic acid. Okay, they will form carbonic acid, H2CO3. Then they will break down, they will dissociate to give you H+, okay, H+ ion and HCO3 minus. This HCO3 minus ion, there is two names for it. Okay, sometimes some books they will call it bicarbonate ions. Okay, then you all learn chemistry, you should know I can also call this hydrogen carbonate ion.
Yeah,
okay. So hydrogen carbonate ions. Okay. Can Now, the next thing that is the other dissolved substances that you can find will be, okay, maybe I should draw a line so that is clearer. Okay, the other one that you can, yeah, definitely out of space. You'll say everything, we got enough. Okay, now the other one is just now you mentioned about the dissolved nutrients. Okay, digested nutrients. This one is related. Yes, this one is related to the nutrition in humans. So digested nutrients, I hope you all still remember in the ileum. In the ileum, glucose, okay, amino acid, they will be absorbed into the blood. Okay, so these digested nutrients, they are referring to glucose and amino acid. Okay, absorb into the blood. Absorb into blood at the ileum. Ileum is one of the part of the small intestine. Okay, what else? Just now you mentioned something.
Hormones.
Okay, hormones. Okay, so the other thing is you can also link it to hormones. Okay, link it to hormones because hormones is the other thing that we learn in our syllabus. So hormones are transported in the blood or transported by blood. Okay, from the endocrine gland to the effector. Okay, to the effector. So hormones. So you will be able to easily give me at least a few examples. Okay, insulin, glucagon, okay, adrenaline. Then you can even talk about estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. Okay, so all these things are in your syllabus, so you must be able to use them. Okay, anything that is not in your syllabus, you are not required to know. Okay, but anything that is in your syllabus, you need to be able to give an example. So the function of the plasma basically is to transport these substances. Actually got one more. Okay, I want to talk about a few more because it's linked to the function of the platelets. Okay, so plasma also contains dissolved proteins. Okay, other dissolved proteins are. Okay, first one that you need to remember, fibrinogen. This one is related to the function. This is related to the function of the platelets. Okay, so I'm going to talk about fibrinogen. So other dissolved proteins also important. Okay. Okay, let's look at the function of the platelets now. So not done yet. You see, second LO is already so long already. Space. Okay. First stage. Now, so platelets are function of platelets. Or should I shouldn't say function of platelets. Okay. Maybe I write here. Function of platelets are basically a very simple. I summarize it very simply for you first. Involved in wound healing. Okay, or involved in blood clotting, formation of blood clot. Okay, formation of blood clot or clotting of blood. Okay, so let's look at the what is that? What is that function? What is that called? Let me take a look at the LO again. Clotting. Okay, let's look at the blood clotting process. Okay, blood clotting process. Let's go to the other page. I don't think we have enough space. Okay, blood clotting is also a very memory work process. Okay, now first thing first, when there is a wound, okay, when there's a wound, you're still looking at. Okay, I'll wait for you. Let me drink some water. Okay, I move on already. Now, when there is when there's a wound, what do I mean by that? Okay, there is damaged tissue. Okay, there is damaged tissues and cells. Okay, So when there is a wound, these damaged tissues and cells, they will and the platelets plus the platelets, they will secrete, okay, this enzyme. Okay, they will secrete this enzyme called thrombokinase. Okay, this is an enzyme. So you will secrete thrombokinase. Okay, just now I forget to add in one more dissolved protein. Okay, besides fibrinogen, there's one more dissolved protein called prothrombin that is involved in the blood clotting process. Okay, these two are involved in the blood clotting process, these two dissolved proteins. Okay, prothrombin. So the damaged tissues and cells plus the platelets, they will secrete this enzyme called thrombokinase. Okay, the purpose of this thrombokinase is to cause this conversion of prothrombin into thrombin. Okay, and this process is catalyzed by thrombokinase. Okay, now the thrombin is also an enzyme, another enzyme. So prothrombin is like a before being activated. Okay, pre-activated enzyme form. Okay, this is the pre-activated form of enzyme. So the thrombokinase secreted by the platelets and the damaged tissues and cells, they will cause the conversion of prothrombin to thrombin. Okay, now the thrombin will then cause the next reaction to happen. They will cause the conversion of fibrinogen into fibrin threads. Okay, so this is catalyzed by thrombin, this enzyme thrombin. Okay, what is the difference between fibrinogen and fibrin thread? Okay, fibrinogen is soluble. It's a soluble protein. Fibrin, insoluble. Okay, so fibrin threads, this insoluble fibrin threads, they will then form the fourth stage. They will form a net-like structure, or we can call it a mesh. Okay, a mesh-like structure. And this mesh-like structure will trap more platelets and red blood cells. Okay, then this will then form, okay, form a clot, okay, a clot on the wound, okay, on the wound to stop the bleeding. Okay, so eventually, this clot will form this thing called the scab. Okay, I think all of us will have been injured somehow before, small injuries that like we accidentally cut ourselves, or like we accidentally fell down, and then after we bleed, then we notice that the bleeding will stop, and then got this scab-like thing that will form.
Yeah, so you peel it off.
You peel it off, and then you will bleed again.
Yeah.
So if you like to torture yourself, you can do that repeatedly. Okay.
Yeah, guys,
yes. Okay. So if you do that repeatedly, yes, permanent scar tissue will form. Okay. So those are, if you want to have very nice skin, please don't go and peel off the scab before they drop off on their own. Okay. Can
yes.
Go. Okay, I know you're very stressed. Please don't torture yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just like very fun thing to do.
On my later end of lesson, I want to talk to you.
I'm not sure.
Okay. I think I need to bring you to the counselor to speak to the counselor. Okay.
Sure, I was joking. So this one is because it was itchy, because it was a
Okay, joking. I know you're okay. I can tell as a teacher, I can tell whether you are distressed or not. Okay, unless you are a very good actor, then I can tell. Okay, now, so this is the function of the platelets plus the blood clotting process. Okay, so we are done with the second LO. Okay, roughly for second LO already. Now, before I continue, I have to go for a meeting at 4:15. So I may not be able to finish all the LO. So I may have to meet you another day just to complete it. Okay, then we arrange time again. Okay, can? Now, the next thing that we look at will be the blood groups. Okay, blood groups. This one is slightly more interesting. Okay, so basically, for blood groups, you need to ask yourself a few questions. Okay. So what are the different blood groups? Can someone tell me? A, B, AB, and then O. That's it. Okay. Then got the plus and minus. That's not complicate the matter. We just talked about A, B, AB, and O first. We don't talk about plus and minus first. Okay.
O is the universal.
Yes. O. Okay. O is called the universal donor.
Yeah. And then EB is the universal receiver.
Yes, it's the universal recipient or receiver. Okay. Recipient. Yeah, spell recipient correctly. Spells looks weird. Correct, right? Recipient. Okay.
I cannot spell.
RECI. Oh, PIENT. Okay. Yes, this looks correct finally. Thank you. Okay. That's the reason why I'm not an English teacher. Okay. Now, so blood group, there are two things that you need to ask yourself. Okay. What is the antigens on the surface of the red blood cells? Antigens on red blood cells. Okay. Then the second question you need to ask yourself, what is the antibodies in the blood plasma? Okay. Then antigen, usually we represent it using capital A and B. Okay. Antibody, we represent them using A, small letter A and B. Can So don't swap them around. You swap them around, you get 0. Okay. I will mark you. I will give you 0. Okay. If you swap them around A and B. Okay. Now, for a person with blood group A, basically, it has antigen A on the surface of the red blood cells. So if the person is blood group A, all the red blood cells inside the person will have antigen A on their surface. Okay, what will be the antibody inside the blood plasma? You don't remember this? Okay, antibody B. Why? Why not antibody A?
Because why not?
Okay, it seems that you all don't know, so I'm going to tell you, remember, okay, antibody A will recognize antigen A and cause antigen A, anything with antigen A to clump together. Okay, antibody A will cause red blood cells with antigen A to clump together. And this phenomenon of the red blood cells clumping together, we also use another word, agglutinate. Yes. Okay, clump together is also called agglutinate. Okay.
What does that mean?
Can that means like for instance how should I maybe later I draw for you. Let me finish writing first. Okay, then antibody B will cause red blood cells with antigen B to agglutinate. Okay. So agglutinate is like basically like for instance initially I have red blood cells the circle represents red blood cells okay, they are not stick together, but because of the antibody this is what is going to happen. The antibody will do this. It will cause them to clump together. Okay, I don't know how to draw very nicely but they will clump together. Yes, so the red blood cells will all clump together. It is not solid. Red blood cells is solid. So before it clump together, it's a solid. So now is the red blood cells individually, they can move individually. Okay, but then when they clump together, that means they all stick together.
So they become one big solid.
If you add the word big solid, okay, fine. Then it sounds more correct. Okay, can so let's come back to this one. So if you know these two concepts, then you don't need to memorize for blood group A, what is the antigen and antibody. You don't have to memorize so difficult. It will be easier for you to memorize.
So the antibody.
Yes. Okay, antigen B and then antibody A. Okay, how about AB?
AB is antigen both enough.
Yes. Antigen A and antigen B. Then how about antibodies? No, you cannot say don't have. There are other antibodies in the person's blood. Okay, it's just don't have antibody, no antibody A and antibody B. Okay, if you say no antibodies, I have to mark you wrong. Can So you must be very clear. Okay, then how about O? O, no.
Antigen A.
Yes, no antigen A and no antigen B. Then have both antigens, not antigens, have both antibody A and antibody B. Okay. And from this, you will be able to determine who can donate blood to who. Okay, A cannot donate blood to B. Why?
Was antibody and antigen.
Will. Yes. So basically, you see, if a person with blood group B, if it is to accept blood from A, a person with blood group A, the red blood cells from A will contain antigen A. And what will happen? The antibody A inside the person B will cause the donated blood, the red blood cells in the donated blood to clump together. And they will form a blood clot and they will block the flow of blood. And in fact, instead of saving the person B, the person with blood group B, it will cause the person to die faster.
Sure, that's like what happened to just die.
Yes. Imagine if you only have one blood clot at the blood, at the coronary artery, the person already will die already. Imagine now you receive blood from a person, a non-compatible source. Okay, like for instance, if you're B, you receive A, then you have multiple blood clots throughout your whole body, depending on how fast the blood moved. Okay, can so that is for the blood clotting, the blood group part. Can any other question? Okay, I think we may have to stop here already. Can then the other day the rest I will go through with you another day. Let's fix the timing.
After this, yeah. Some people choice.
Let me stop the recording first.